Shodanandana Vajadana Ranjana all glories to the Atman. All glories to the Atman. All glories to the Atman.
Why is it going the Sunda?
Yeah, we didn't change the title on YouTube.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Okay, stop again. Stop sharing. Now you can turn the camera for Purujit. Hare Krishna.
Don't forget some rounds.
Hare Krishna. Where's Prabhu?
He's not here. I guess he might not be here today. So just continue as is.
Okay. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Puravani Vicharina Nirvishesh Shunavare Vachati Vesharine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Ganadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare. Okay, so glories to the assembled devotees. In the morning, we were discussing the Diksha Guru and the Diksha, what it is. So now I would like to present some of my humble realizations based on Srila Prabhupada's statements about the position of a Shiksha Guru, and especially a Shiksha Guru who is not liberated. Because this is the position that Srila Prabhupada is asking us to follow or to attain. So this is again from some of my writings. I'm going to be reading from the article and reading also Srila Prabhupada's quotes to support some of my realizations. So let's start. It is a habit of the postmodern times to say that man does not depend on any authority. He's free to create his own viewpoint of the world, unique and exceptional. However, if we are to sincerely consider our condition, we must conclude that such thinking is nothing but delusional. In order to acquire knowledge, we always depend on superior authority. We cannot even ascertain who is our father without the help of a superior authority, the mother. We were not there when our parents conceived us, and therefore we can only put faith in our mother's words. We are in complete ignorance about things that are beyond our perception. Therefore, the Vedic injunction is achintya khalu yibhava natam shtarkena yojayet. We should not try to understand things that are beyond our material conception by argument and counter-argument. Rather, we should approach a guru. How can we recognize the perfect guru and not get cheated at the same time? In this connection, interestingly enough, Srila Prabhupada gives a rather liberal definition of what the word guru means. Quote, Prabhupada, suppose I do not know which way to go. If I ask somebody, it is supposed that he knows. Is it not? The disciple answers, yes, Prabhupada. Otherwise, why shall I ask somebody? It is supposed that he knows. Now, when you ask him, then you must take his word. He says, you go this way, you should go there. And again, you say, why shall I go this way? And why, rascal, you come to ask me? Is it not? You ask me which way I shall go to that place. I say, you go this way. And if you again say, why shall I go this way? Then why, rascal, you come to waste my time and your time? This is the answer. If you ask me, then you take my word. Devotees, Jai, Prabhupada, that's it. And if you think that I do not know, then why do you ask me and waste your time and my time? Therefore, Shastra says that ask from Guru. If you accept somebody as Guru, then ask from him. As soon as you ask, the man to whom you ask, he is your Guru. Okay, so you mentioned this also, Gregory Prabhu said if you ask a question, you must be ready to take the answer. It's the same. This is the same principle.
Should be, yeah.
Yes. So here, Srila Prabhupada defines Guru as a person we approach to ask questions. According to this definition, any person whom we approach to resolve different questions is our Guru. In fact, we're constantly accepting various types of gurus in the course of our daily lives, be it mother, father, friend, teacher in school, or the internet, even without knowing. Sometimes it is argued that the newly initiated disciples of Srila Prabhupada have no guru because Srila Prabhupada is not physically present. Such accusation is unfounded. Prabhupada says, this is from a lecture from Seattle, October the 2nd, 1968. Without spiritual master, you cannot be at any stage of your life. This spiritual master or that spiritual master, that is a different thing, but you have to accept. End of quote. All devotees surrendered to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, regardless of their level of advancement, can be accepted as Guru, provided one is eager to learn the transcendental science. One is always eager to associate with such devotees, whom he considers to be Srila Prabhupada's representatives. Srila Prabhupada says, this is another quote, this time from Nectar of Instruction, verse 2, purport. One should always engage in the service of the Lord in the association of the Lord's devotees. Association with those engaged in a similar line of business is very conducive to advancement in that business. Consequently, materialistic persons from various associations and clubs to enhance their endeavors. Form various associations and clubs to enhance their endeavors. For example, in the business world, we find such institutions as the Stock Exchange and Chamber of Commerce. Similarly, we have established the International Society for Krishna Consciousness to give people an opportunity to associate with those who have not forgotten Krishna. Okay, so there's another quote, and they're asking Prabhupada that, well, actually, they're not asking. I recently found this quote, but Srila Prabhupada doesn't protest. I think it's Hari Sori and some other devotee. And they say that you had to come, Srila Prabhupada, that even if you gave the books, it will be not sufficient because you had to come to show the practical example of a devotee to inspire the people to read the books. So we, of course, we understand that everything is coming from the Vani. Srila Prabhupada is not different from this Vani and so on, so on. But if you hear that Vani, then you should feel natural inclination to preach Krishna consciousness. Mathurapati, he mentioned this yesterday. He mentioned that quote about determination. The Prabhupada says the real initiation is your determination and also your desire to preach the consciousness to others. So there must be a sort of a, it's kind of like unavoidable. There must be a sort of a, I would say an interlink, but not a necessary interlink between Srila Prabhupada and us. any godbrother is our guru, because every godbrother is reading Srila Prabhupada's books and he has his individual realizations about Srila Prabhupada's statements. So from that point of view, any devotee, whether he is big or small, advanced or not, initiated, non-initiated, can be our guru, provided he is taking shelter of Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so Prabhupada says we have established the International Society for Krishna Consciousness for this purpose. The books are there, but Srila Prabhupada also simultaneously established an institution where people can come and they can increase their enthusiasm. And Prabhupada says specifically, enhance their endeavors. Just like in any club or association, any sort of endeavor in the mundane world, people like to form association to get more encouragement. A good example is the university or school. You can learn everything on your own, especially nowadays. You go on YouTube, you learn so many things you can learn on your own. Potentially, you can learn even how to do surgeries. Everything you can learn on your own. It simply depends on your determination. But practically speaking, most of the people, they go to school and university. So both are simultaneously correct. Srila Prabhupada is in his books. Simultaneously, the association of the devotees or temples and so on is required. It is not that it's one or the other, because every school is based on some knowledge. So there are professors, they're writing books, and then the teachers in school, they explain according to these books. Without the books, the institution has no purpose. But simultaneously, if we simply read the books and we never preach the message to others, and how we have assimilated the Diksha, how we have been initiated by Srila Prabhupada, how are we in the disciplic succession? There is one quote where Guru Kripa Prabhu is asking Prabhupada, what about your godbrothers? They're also properly initiated by the bona fide spiritual master. What is their position? There's some Russian.
There's some possibly spam. I think you can manage this.
He's writing the same thing. Yeah. So Prabhupada says, yes, the formality is going on, but the real spirit of Lord Chaitanya's movement is preaching. It's preaching. So this preaching aspect, and therefore being a sort of a Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, or a monitor Guru, or some sort of a teacher in Krishna consciousness is also necessary for the propagation of Krishna consciousness. And we should never neglect this. I'll continue. Accepting Srila Prabhupada as our initiating Guru does not mean we reject everyone else. This is not the way. Prabhupada writes in a letter to Sri Galim from November the 20th, 1971. It is not that after we become initiated, we become perfect. No. It requires teaching. So if we take instruction from them, all senior brothers may be treated as Guru. There is no harm. There is no harm. Actually, you have only one spiritual master who initiates you, just as we have only one father. But every Vaishnava should be treated as Prabhu, master, higher than me. And in this sense, if I learn from him, he may be regarded as Guru. End of quote. Anyone who gives spiritual instructions based on the revealed scriptures is accepted as spiritual master. Although others give help in showing the way to beginners, the Guru who first initiates one with the Mahamantra is to be known as the initiator. And the saints who give instructions for progressive advancement in Krishna consciousness are called instructing spiritual masters. The initiating and instructing spiritual masters are equal and identical manifestations of Krishna. Although they have different dealings, their function is to guide the conditioned souls back home, back to Godhead. This is a quote from Adi Lila 1.34. Another quote, there is no difference between the shelter-giving Supreme Lord and the initiating and instructing spiritual masters. If one foolishly discriminates between them, he commits an offense in the discharge of devotional service. This is Adi Lila 1.47 purport. Guru is one in the sense that all gurus repeat the same unadulterated message of Krishna. It does not matter that one may not have a complete realization of the science. If he repeats the message as it is, he is a guru. He may be a fool and a rascal. It doesn't matter. As soon as he accepts what Krishna says, that is his qualification. A child may be a fool, but when the father says, my dear child, this is called a microphone. And if the child says, this is a microphone, it is correct. So our business is like that. Srila Prabhupada says, how can I become a guru? One may say, I'm not learned. I'm not so. No, you haven't got to bother. Still, you can become guru. How? Jare de katarekaya Krishna Upadesh. If you simply repeat what Krishna has said, then you become guru. That's all. This is a morning walk and room conversation, December 26, 1976. Prabhupada elaborates on this same point in a morning walk, April the 15th, 1976. This preaching is done by Shyamasundara's little daughter, 5 years, 6 years. She goes to a gentleman, do you know Krishna? So he says, no, I don't know. The Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just see, this is preaching. A child can do this preaching work. She has learned from us, and she is convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. And if she goes to anyone, do you know who is Krishna? He says, no, I do not know. The Supreme Personality. This is preaching. Then he is a good preacher. That's all. Our godmothers might not be perfect. This is an end of quote. Our godmothers Prabhupada says, quote from the Bhagavad Gita, class 7.1, Ahmedabad, December 13th, 1972. Actually, if the Guru teaches Krishna consciousness, then he may be in lesser degree, but he is accepted as Guru. There is no question of rejection. Another quote from Bhagavad Gita 2.1 up to 10 and talk, Los Angeles, November 25th, 1968. So if you follow pure devotee, then you're also pure devotee. It may not be one is 10% pure, because we're trying to raise ourselves from the conditional life. But if we strictly follow the pure devotee, then we're also pure devotee. So far we do, that is pure. So pure devotee, it does not mean one has to become immediately 10% pure. But if he sticks to the principle that will follow a pure devotee, then his actions are, he is as good as a pure devotee. There is some
Trouble.
He's not
Against that trouble.
somebody who's definitely not a pure devotee in the chat.
someone who doesn't
Greek.
want to discuss this very important topic.
Oh my God. Again, some strong. You guys fuck yourself. Again. Niggas,
He is colorblind. He is colorblind. I
kick
think.
him out. Ban him or something and later.
No, he should go to a doctor because he's colorblind.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you follow a pure devotee, then you're also pure devotee. It may not be, I read this already. So pure devotee doesn't mean, okay, end of quote. And similarly, one may be very knowledgeable, renounced, or so-called perfect, but if he manufactures or adulterates the message given to us by the bona fide Acharya Srila Prabhupada, he is to be rejected. Quote, Prabhupada writes, it is not that I disobey my real spiritual master and call someone else a spiritual master. That is wrong. It is only that I can call spiritual master someone who is teaching me purely what my initiating spiritual master has taught. Another quote, a Shiksha Guru who instructs against the instruction of spiritual, he is not a Shiksha Guru. He is a demon. Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru means sometimes a Diksha Guru is not present always. Therefore, one can take learning, instruction from an advanced devotee. That is called the Shiksha Guru. Shiksha Guru does not mean he's speaking something against the teachings of the Diksha Guru. He's not a Shiksha Guru. He is a rascal. End of quote. Sometimes due to foolishness or unfortune, one accepts such a rascal as a bona fide and becomes cheated. Then, instead of seeking association of bona fide godbrothers, he concludes that bona fide association is nowhere to find and that ultimately everyone is a cheater and a fool. Quote, Prabhupada, nobody is bona fide, that's all. This is their conclusion. Because they have confronted with some non-bona fide, they have concluded that everyone is non-bona fide. Hari sorry. It's very easy just to try to brush it all under the couch and forget about it. Prabhupada, he says something in Bengali. A man's household utensils was taken by the thief. He promised, I shall not purchase any more utensils. I shall eat on the floor. Prabhupada laughs. Because the thief has stolen my plates, I'm not going to purchase anymore. I shall eat on the floor. Hari sorry. They give the example that just because someone may be passing counterfeit money, that doesn't mean that all the money you get, Prabhupada. Yes, they conclude that no more take any money, all counterfeit. End of quote. This, however, simply shows lack of sufficient zeal on his part to come out of the conditioning of the material existence. It is a question of necessity. Just like a man who is hungry must buy plates to eat from, a bona fide disciple must be always inquisitive about how to follow the orders of the spiritual master. And this desire to know pushes him to search out the proper association, even if he might not be successful in finding it right away. Many, however, simply continue life of sense gratification, supported by their equally disappointed peers, who then preach that except the recognized Uttama Adhikari Guru, no one should be trusted. Srila Prabhupada himself disapproves of such sectarian mentality. Quote, you speak of pure devotee, that he is a Shakti Vaishnava, that we should obey him only. And these things are the wrong idea. If anyone thinks like that a pure devotee should be obeyed and no one else, that means is a nonsense. We advise everyone to address one another as Prabhu. Prabhu means master. So how the master should be disobeyed? Others, they're also pure devotees. All of my disciples are pure devotees. Anyone sincerely serving the spiritual master is a pure devotee. It may be Siddha Sarup or others. Siddha Sarup. This means, this must be very clearly stated. It is not only that your Siddha Sarup is a pure devotee and not others. Do not try to make a faction. Do not try to make a faction. See, Prabhupada is warning. This is causing the factions, the different divisions in the devotee community. Siddha Sarupa is a good soul, but others should not be misled. Anyone who is surrendered to the spiritual master is a pure devotee. It doesn't matter if Siddha Sarupa or non-Siddha Sarupa. Prabhupada is such a perfect writer because he is actually making a joke. But he gave that name, Siddha Sarupa, means perfect in his realization of the spiritual body. So this devotee, Siddha Sarupa, he got a little bit more worship from the other devotees. And then this Tushta Krishna is writing to Prabhupada that, oh, Siddha Sarupa is better than the other devotees. So Prabhupada is saying it doesn't matter if Siddha Sarupa or non-Siddha Sarupa.
He's not in Hawaii.
Yeah. So whether he is realized or not realized. See, it's simultaneously a joke. It's simultaneously Prabhupada perfectly backs up his statement. It's a genius. Amongst ourselves, one should respect others as Prabhu, master, one another. As soon as we distinguish here as a pure devotee, here as a non-pure devotee, that means I am a nonsense. Okay, end of quote. Naive devotees who follow such conclusions are not able to recognize that those who are speaking in this way, namely that no devotee association should be trusted, are themselves taking the position of instructors. Now here's a conversation that illustrates this principle. Bhagavat is a disciple of Prabhupada. He said, you are your own guru, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, yes, that is a devotee. I have heard him. Prabhupada, you see, Krishna says, Tad Vijnanatam Sagarum Emabhikachit Tadviri Pranipatina. These are the quotes that emphasize the acceptance of the Guru. He says, everyone is Guru. Just see, everyone is Guru. Then, why are you instructing? Why are you becoming Guru? Dr. Patel, he is not becoming Guru of anybody. Prabhupada, no. Why does he say, you do this? That is Guru. Guru means one who orders. That is Guru. That means you reject all other gurus. That means he means to say, you reject all other gurus except me, Guru. That's all. So Srila Prabhupada very nicely exposes this sort of preaching that, we should not accept any guru, anyone, everyone is conditioned, everyone is imperfect. So then the question arises, why are you speaking? You are instructing us. We should not accept any guru, any association. Don't trust anyone. Everyone is a cheater. So in the same way, there's sometimes devotees that preach like this, that only Prabhupada is a pure devotee, only trust Prabhupada, and all the other devotees, they're conditioned souls. So just wait and you will see that they're going to make some imperfection, they fall down and so on. So this should not be the mentality. We should have faith that because the devotees are following Srila Prabhupada, they're empowered. They might not be empowered fully, but at least to a certain extent. Anyone who's chanting 16 rounds, anyone who's following the regulative principles, anyone who's hearing from Srila Prabhupada daily, they're empowered to preach at least to a certain extent. And they can also become gurus to us. We can learn from them. Otherwise, what is the meaning of association? Why Srila Prabhupada made ISKCON? He could have just distributed books and that would be it. But he made ISKCON so people who come, who read his books, they can also learn from other devotees. Okay, so end of quote. Similarly, the person who says you should only accept an Uttamadhikari as guru and everyone else is nonsense is hinting that one should reject everyone else and accept only him as guide. Thank you. Otherwise, why is he instructing? You do this. So he's taking the position of a guru without taking the responsibility that comes with it. He's trying to become a guru through the back door, so to speak, by using an Uttamadhikari as a front. It is not sufficient to say that one should accept such and such guru. If the guru is bona fide, we must repeat his teachings. If we do not repeat the teachings of the guru, what is the use of saying that such and such guru is bona fide? Srila Prabhupada complains. This is from a class of Srimad Bhagavatam, Hawaii, January the 20th, 1974. So I'm writing all these books simply for selling, not for reading. This is not good. And if somebody asks you, you are so much eager to sell your books, do you read your books? Then what you will say? No, sir, we don't read, we sell only. Our Guru Maharaj writes, when we sell, that is not good business. You must read. Why am I writing so many books? End of quote. There are revealed scriptures, and they're considered the standard books to be followed by human society. Such scriptures are not man-made. They have been given by the perfect authority of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they are received in the disciplic succession of self-realized spiritual masters. Thus, they do not contain the 4 defects of human frailty. The bona fide spiritual master is teaching such scriptures, and it is our duty to understand and repeat such teachings for the benefit of others. This is the real glorification of the spiritual master. It is not only by following such perfect authority, it is only by following such perfect authority we can become free from the material sufferings of birth, death, old age, and disease. Our teaching should be therefore based on the principles of such standard shastras as received from the bona fide spiritual master. One should not take the position of an instructor if he is not conversant or does not follow the rules prescribed by the bona fide acharya. If he takes such a position and preaches untruths, he will not only misguide others and create confusion. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, 19th chapter, 152nd verse, purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that the seed of devotional service can be received only through the mercy of the spiritual master. Therefore, one has to satisfy the spiritual master. This seed is the origin of devotional service. Unless one satisfies the spiritual master, he gets the seed or root cause of karma, jnana, and yoga without the benefit of devotional service. We're discussing this with Robert. Yes. Only one who is faithful to his spiritual master gets the seed of devotional service. The seed is received when one is initiated by the bona fide spiritual master. After receiving the spiritual master's mercy, one must repeat his instructions. And this is called Shravana Kirtana, hearing and chanting. One who has not properly heard from the spiritual master who does not follow the regulative principles is not fit for chanting, kirtan. One who has not listened carefully to the instructions of the spiritual master is unfit to chant or preach the cult of devotional service. In this connection, Lord Rishabhadeva instructs his sons. Gurur na sasyat sva jano na sayisyat. Pita na sasyat janani na sasyat. Daivam natat sayan na patista syan na machayet ya samupeta matyum. One who cannot deliver his dependents from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. So Srimad Bhagavatam 5:18. In a commentary on this verse, Srila Prabhupada states that if the instructor cannot liberate his dependents from the clutches of birth and death, he plunges himself into the ocean of reproachment for his unlawful activities. So it is not so insignificant matter that we simply glorify our guru and emphasize his elevated position and think that our business is finished. We must hear from him and then repeat and follow his teachings. Similarly, in the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Yad yad acharati shrestas tat tat evitaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokas tat anuvartate. Whatever a respectable leader of society does, common men follow in his footsteps, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. Krishna also says, Sakta karmani avidvamsho yata kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvamsha tata saktas chikarshu loka sangramam nabori vedam janayit agyanam karma sanginam jo sajit sarva karmani vidvan yuktaha samacharan. As the ignorant perform their prescribed duties with attachment to results, the learned may also act, but without attachment for the sake of leading the general mass of people. Those who are hankering after the fruits of their labor should not be induced to refrain from work, for it will disrupt their intelligence. Rather, they should be engaged in all sorts of activities to develop Krishna consciousness gradually. End of quote. By the laws of material nature, the general mass of people is always ignorant and the intelligent class is in minority. Just like at university education, the number of graduates and postgraduates is less, while the others are in bigger numbers. So it is not expected that everyone will be capable to understand the spiritual knowledge immediately simply by hearing. However, by following the example of the enlightened leaders, even a common man can make advancement. Srila Prabhupada explains, quote, we are sending Sankirtan parties all over the world, and they're experiencing that even in the remotest part of the world, where there is no knowledge of Krishna, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra attracts thousands of men to our camp. In some areas, people begin to imitate the devotees by shaving their heads and chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra only a few days after hearing the mantra. This may be imitative, but imitation of a good thing is desired. Some imitators gradually become interested in being initiated by the spiritual master and offer themselves for initiation. Another quote is from the 9th canto, 6th chapter, 51st verse. This is from the purport. The Krishna consciousness movement is creating many centers just to create devotees, so that by associating with the members of such a center, people will automatically become uninterested in material affairs. Although this is an ambitious proposal, this association is proving effective by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By gradually associating with the members of the Krishna consciousness movement, simply by taking prasad and taking part in chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, ordinary persons are being considerably elevated, Prabhupada says. End of quote. It is essential, therefore, that responsible disciple shows the example of good behavior for the sake of general mass who might not be so enlightened to understand things by hearing only. Being a bona fide instructor also carries with itself a great responsibility to show the proper example. Simply words will not do. One must also act. For this reason, Krishna says, Name partasti kartavyam trishulakeshu kinchana nana vaptam avaptavyam vartaiva chakarmani yadi aham na vartayam jatu karmani atandrita mama vartmanu vartante manushya parta sarvasha. O son of Pratap, there is no duty prescribed for me within the 3 planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor is there anything for me to gain. And yet even I am engaged in my prescribed duty. For if I ever carelessly gave up my prescribed duties and did not engage in work or parta, certainly all men would follow my path. End of quote. It is the natural weakness of a common man to use the leader's failure as an excuse to give up his own duty. Therefore, such an so-called opportunity should not be given. The Caesar's wife must be beyond suspicion. Here are a few examples where Srila Prabhupada warns about the negative consequences of showing bad example to the rest of the devotees. This is from the letter to our dear friend Bhavananda. Not really, dear friend. I have heard one rumor from Garga Muni that Kanupriya and Hayagriva are smoking ganja. In that case, Hayagriva should be asked to leave for USA immediately to sit down in New Vrindavan and do what he likes. But he is a big leader, and if it is common knowledge that he is using such intoxicants, the others will follow his example and there will be havoc throughout the society. Next quote. I am so shocked to hear from you that you have left your good wife for some time to have sex life with another girl who is also a devotee, and that she is now pregnant with your child. That is most disturbing to me. But I know that all big leaders are falling victim to sex life. To let her live in New York and you live in Paris with your wife, what can be done? So let her live in New York and so on. But you should not ever see or correspond in any way with her again. That will be the worst example. End of quote. It is a diseased idea to say that Srila Prabhupada is the only perfect teacher and that our qualification is irrelevant. It is very relevant. Even if we only accept Srila Prabhupada, even if we only accept Srila Prabhupada as bona fide, still we cannot justify such misconception as Srila Prabhupada himself encourages his disciples to be gurus. He wants us to preach plain and simple. Quote, we do not want to become a lone guru, but we want to preach in such a way that the chief man or any man, he can become guru in his surroundings. Anyone can do that. End of quote. Nor is it proper to think that Srila Prabhupada is our guru and perfect, and therefore we as his disciples do not have to follow or serve anyone else. Quote, there are many so-called caste brahmanas and caste goswamis who, taking advantage of the Shastra and the innocence of people in general, claim to be brahmanas and Vaishnavas by hereditary rights. One will not derive any benefit by rendering service to such false brahmana kulas. One must therefore take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and his associates. And should also render service to them. For such activity will greatly help the neophyte in attaining full satisfaction. Om Agyan Trinandasya Gyana Janashika Chakshuman Mitamena Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha. Any questions?
Yeah, there was one that came to me at the beginning.
Yes.
I heard you say something, and it seemed a contradiction. It was you said that anyone who reads Srila Prabhupada's books is our guru, and then later 2 times you said anyone who So you said that someone who like
It's not enough. Hearing is not enough.
no, I was saying that you were saying that they people, other Vaishnavas or other senior devotees, they can be our Shiksha Guru, or they may, you read one quote that said they may be our Shiksha Guru. So like at the beginning you said they are, and then you said maybe or can be, and like it's like it does. It brings to mind this quote from Srila Prabhupada where he said, we should not instruct people who are not our disciple. Like, so like I mean, it sounded like maybe you made some mistake. Sorry, but like is it? I mean, surely you weren't saying that that everyone is our guru just because they read Srila Prabhupada's books and we should take instruction from.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. So you see, again, guru is not appointed. Guru is never appointed. So we're very lucky that we know that Srila Prabhupada is our spiritual master. This is everything. Pretty much for us, that is everything. Because on that basis, we understand Krishna, we understand the parampara, we understand our relationships between each other. But if someone who doesn't accept Prabhupada as a guru, we know many devotees are like that. If he asks you that, what is the proof that Prabhupada is the guru? Can you show me in a Shastra where it is stated? Where is the appointment from Bhaktisiddhanta? Is there any July 9 letter from Bhaktisiddhanta that Bhaktisiddhanta would write that, this Abhay Charanara Vindam, he's going to be the next Acharya? We don't have any such document. So Krishna always, I was mentioning this at the very beginning, Krishna always leaves it up to you. The real focus should be how are we really seeking? Because if you seek the knowledge, then you get cheated one time, you get cheated another time, but you go on searching until you find the real answers. So that is important. The guru is not appointed or somewhere, it's not written somewhere. It's really a question of your choice and your sincerity. And the guru actually is revealed, just like Krishna is revealed to us. Nam prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samavrata. Krishna says, I am not revealed to those who are envious. I am covered by my yoga maya potency. So it's the same thing with the guru, and not just Diksha Guru, but also our God brothers and God sisters. It is not that they're all the initiated. They must be a Shiksha Guru. So if he speaks nonsense, then he's not. But if he speaks according to what the Diksha Guru says, then why should I not accept? See, if some new bhakta says that, Prabhu, you actually made a mistake. Prabhupada in this quote, he said like this, and you said the opposite. So if I say that, you cannot instruct me because you knew bhakta, then I'm a nonsense. Because he's repeating what Srila Prabhupada says. I'm actually rejecting Srila Prabhupada. You understand?
Yes. No, could you say that one again? Sorry.
Like you read something from Prabhupada in his books. Prabhupada says, chant 16 rounds. And you tell me, Prabhu, you should chant 60 rounds. And I said, no, you are not my guru. Prabhupada is my guru. But Prabhupada is using you to preach to me. So I'm rejecting Prabhupada in a different form.
But if I...
You see, so that's why that quote, at least this is my humble understanding, because sometimes this is a little difficult to understand. How is the Diksha Guru and the Shiksha Guru personal manifestation of the Super Soul? External manifestation, worshipable, and so on. It's like, any new devotee is the external manifestation of the Super Soul, worshipable. What does it mean? So what I take from this quote is that if you repeat Prabhupada's instructions, that instruction that you are vibrating, that is holy. That is holy. That should be respected. That should be worshipped. It should not be like, no, you cannot instruct me. You're not authorized. You're not the GBC. You're not a temple president. You're not this. You're not that. Then I am biased. And I'm actually rejecting Srila Prabhupada's instruction. You follow this?
Yeah, I see where you're going, but I ask you this, like in your example, you said if I read in Prabhupada's book, you should chant 16 rounds, and I say to you, you should chant 16 rounds. But why in your example am I telling you to chant 16 rounds if I'm not your Shiksha guru, if I'm just someone who's read it in Srila Prabhupada's book? Like, why would I tell you to chant 16
Okay, well,
rounds?
that's a different thing. That's
Yeah.
a different thing. But I'm just explaining the principle. Because the point of this article is that there are many devotees who find a very convenient excuse not to follow Prabhupada by saying that they follow Prabhupada. You see? So that is my, of course, your point is correct. You know, if someone is not interested or is not willing to hear, then why even instructing them? That is true. But for example, you know, it can happen on very minuscule because the situation may arise like that. You know, it's like ISKCON is a very good example of that. That all these people, they claim to be great authorities and so on. And then they rejected all the devotees who were actually trying to speak sense to them, like Yashodananda was explaining yesterday. So yeah, my point was directed towards that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's reason. So just to conclude that, one thing, these gurus that you say, if someone is a Shiksha guru or representative of Prabhupada, should these men be considered ordinary men?
Well, it's conditional. If he speaks what Prabhupada says, then you should respect him. But you know, if he contradicts, then how can you respect him?
Right.
The beauty of Srila Prabhupada's instruction and the situation we're in is that we understand that Srila Prabhupada is the current acharya. So even if someone becomes a highly elevated devotee, he will not try to attract the focus on himself. He will point you at Prabhupada. So in that way, you know, there's no danger. But the problem is that someone highly elevated might actually come, or some of us can become very elevated, and we might make offenses to him because we say, "Oh, you're not Prabhupada, you don't say anything," but actually, he might be speaking the same thing what Prabhupada says. So this is, I think, required. This humility, this understanding that every devotee might have something we can learn from. And and if someone is taking initiative, if someone is more learned, why not take instruction from him? And why not learn from him? That's the Prabhupada wanted this. We can't say the law. Well, because they have spoiled everything. Now no one should be any authority, and or you're becoming a little prominent also. You must have some pratishta or desire for followers or this and that. Why we assume the bad thing from the very beginning? If there is something to point out, then of course yes. But if there's nothing and you constantly suspecting, this is not a very conducive environment to preach and cooperate and so on and so on. Yeah. So
the next point was I want to say that I see that actually Prabhupada was appointed. So because Prabhupada said that who can be guru? Only if she's appointed by his guru. Otherwise, nobody can become guru. Many times Prabhupada say like that. And sometimes it's really not.
Well, what I mean by appointment means that something outside of the conversation or relationship, between Bhaktisiddhanta and Srila Prabhupada, something outside, some third party evidence. Like I said, some kind of a certificate or letter or this and that. We know that the order that must be there. You cannot become on your own. The pure devotee doesn't do anything on his own. Everything what Srila Prabhupada, what Krishna instructs it, he only does that. So what to speak of becoming? There's an example in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Gadadhar Pandit, someone comes to asking for initiation, and Gadadhar Pandit, he refuses it. Only if Lord Chaitanya, only if he gives me order, then I can be. Yes. So.
Yeah, but the point is actually this point is really difficult because in ISKCON always they say who appointed Prabhupada, but okay, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he have appointed his son because this is not authorized by Shastra Guru and Sadhu, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur brought his son to Kishore Das Babaji, then becomes authorized because otherwise father cannot directly initiate someone in the cyclic succession. So this was autorism. This means father-son election, and then Bhaktisiddhanta, he said, make a GBC and weight of the self-effulgent Acharya.
Yeah.
But this next, it was indirectly and actually directly because everyone know, a little bit intelligent, that the next self-effulgent was Prabhupada. But there was envious on him. And even Prabhupada said one time, my Guru Maharaj has never appointed some Guru.
Yeah.
And at the same time he said, he appointed me.
Well, the thing is, the guru is a relative term. Guru cannot be guru unless their disciples accepting him as guru. You see, so from that point of view, guru cannot be appointed because he's a guru only when the disciple surrenders and accepts him as a guru. You see, so from that point of view, it's not a question of appointment. Just like Prabhupada says, you don't need a certificate to understand that you have eaten and you filled. You filled your belly. You need a certificate. You know it. It's self-explanatory, self-effulgent. So how do we know that Srila Prabhupada is our guru? Because we just know it. We don't need anyone to tell us, some GBC or some senior, oh, Prabhupada is a guru. They can point out, but ultimately it's between you and the guru. That's what it means. That is not a point. That's why this idea that the guru, like Jiva Goswami says, it cannot be appointed by ecclesiastical, hereditary, and so on and so on. This is this idea of, well, I'm here, the manager of the society, the previous spiritual master, he departed. No, it's my right to be a guru, and you must accept me. That is not how the guru disciple relationship is created.
He was appointed by Bhaktisiddhanta, but in this way. But even that, because Prabhupada understood on transcendent platform that he said, my guru appointed me.
Yes.
And in the same time he said he appointed nobody.
Yes.
So this can be only understood of a liberated person
Exactly.
on this platform.
Exactly.
That he get it directly action also.
Yes,
some
of course.
other form we cannot understand. But on some other form he indirectly he said, weight of the next effulgent talent. This was Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada again, he said, rhythmic system. There's always some time, place, and circumstances, some father, son, weight of the next effulgent acharya, and then rhythmic. So there's no tradition actually.
Yes.
Because this is beyond tradition.
That's why the acharya is there, because you always adjust the tradition.
Yeah.
That's why the acharya is needed. Okay.
There was also one question here from Rajananda Das in France.
Okay.
The arm is now not up anymore, but is this question still relevant? Can you tell us?
He wanted to come here.
Yes, he is now.
Also, but
No, Rajananda.
Yes. Okay, no.
He was up and
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Yes, Mathura Pati Prabhu, accept my obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, since
I am not, by the way, I'm not Mathura Pati. Mathura Pati is here.
I can hear you, no problem. You can comment, criticize, whatever.
Yes, my comment is also a question.
One second. One second.
Yes.
No, not more loudly.
Prabhu, maybe you can speak closer to the mic.
Yes.
I am leaning on my computer. Okay, it's better now?
Yeah,
Okay.
Is it better now?
we can hear.
Or maybe because I have the speaker, and now is it better?
Little
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Is it? Yes.
We can understand
Hare
you.
Krishna. Hare.
You can ask.
Okay. So, but so you raised several points, and I agree totally with that point because, and it's the reason I cannot identify myself completely as a Ridvik or a IRM or a Bangalore or even Prabhupanuga. Because when I submit my opinion about a certain dedicated guru, which I want to work with him, immediately such kind of people, they answer, oh, do you know that this guru is also collaborating with this child abuse system?
Mhm.
So it seems that all kinds of devotees being original disciples or whoever try to do something under the scope of ISKCON, so it's immediately labeled as collaborating with a kind of disobeying Srila Prabhupada order. But this actually raises a very big confusion between both camps, because one side, those who are very dedicated to their gurus, and they are considering that the Ridvik or those who want to follow Srila Prabhupada order in a certain way, that they are immediately rejected. And in the other side, all those Ridvik devotees and Prabhupada, they say, no, you cannot follow them because they are not following Srila Prabhupada. But I think that somebody who is preaching like you and explaining according to the scripture, because I'm following a very nice devotee within Mayapur, and with maybe you know him, Venugopal Prabhu. So he's giving very big important point about all kind of scriptures. So he said that the position of the devotees, the Ananya Bhaktas, the Guru, etc., etc. So we can recognize that actually in our ISKCON society, inside the ISKCON society, we have good followers also of Srila Prabhupada, and we should respect them. Don't you think so, Prabhu?
Well, if you are in ISKCON society, naturally you should respect your leaders, but we're not in ISKCON society. So we don't have such obligation. I personally don't feel inspired by any of these gurus in ISKCON. So I don't see the necessity to, of course, we respect everyone. We don't even offend an ant. There's no necessity of attacking. But when the Siddhanta, when the conclusion is wrong, contradicts Srila Prabhupada, then we must point out. Otherwise, where's the preaching? A preacher must speak the truth.
Okay, so the point seems that you don't agree with the Diksha Guru system. Okay, that's a point. But by example, my first guru, who disappeared about 10 years ago, in the initiation, in the time of initiation, he said, I give you the initiation in the name of Srila Prabhupada. But actually we were serving his mission because he was assisting Srila Prabhupada in his mission, particularly in the Bhaktivedanta Institute. So we try our best to follow him and also to respect him, because is it actually explained that such kind of devotees, Ananya Bhakta, who is giving his life for Srila Prabhupada, can also be respected. But what I can understand actually that you are rejecting completely the gurus of ISKCON for the main reason that they are proclaiming themselves or they are proclaimed gurus by the rubber stamp system. Okay, I understand that. But some devotees, some nice and dedicated devotees, they try to apply by example, working for the Varnashram Dharma system to be installed in the world, and they are working very hard without any help of the GBC. But still, they are working. They work under the ISKCON and in the scope of ISKCON, in the temples of ISKCON, visiting all the ISKCON temples. But should we reject those devotees just because they are in this GBC system?
Well, I didn't say I reject the gurus. I just said I don't feel inspired. We were discussing this just a while ago. And it's a question of your personal choice, whether you surrendered or not surrendered, inspired or uninspired. So I personally didn't feel inspired by the gurus in ISKCON, but I have been trained by other gurus who taught me what Srila Prabhupada taught. So for me, those are the gurus as well. Now, in regards to ISKCON and the problems within ISKCON, I don't wish to discuss because I was never part of ISKCON. So if you ask me what about this in ISKCON and this and that, then I cannot comment because I don't feel qualified to comment on problems within ISKCON. I am following Srila Prabhupada in the association of my spiritual masters. I accept many spiritual masters, many devotees, my spiritual masters. And whatever is going on with ISKCON, I cannot comment because I'm not a member of ISKCON. So far I know, I have seen one video of one ISKCON guru. His name is Hanumat Prasad Prabhu. His Holiness is Swami Hanumat Prasad. And he says that, he openly says that we have not yet established, we have not figured out what a Diksha Guru is. He says it, I can send you the video. And there have been so many going back and forth. There's a Shastra Advisory Council, and they're discussing whether they should be appointed or not appointed, who is a guru, who is not a guru. They've changed the definition of guru so many times. This is one of the reasons why I don't feel inspired to go to ISKCON, because the gurus themselves, they don't know what a Diksha Guru is. But to reject them or to offend them, why should I do that? I cannot offend someone who I don't know. So maybe they're bona fide. If they inspire you, you say that that's a specific guru inspired you.
No.
So that is very good.
No.
I'm sorry?
I reject them. I was telling this.
Unmute him. No,
Yes.
now we can hear you.
Yes, Prabhu Rajananda, sorry. You can talk now.
Yes, but actually it was a kind of misunderstanding of my part, because you made a very nice class about the Srila Prabhupada position. And right after you said that all those who are following Srila Prabhupada purely, and they try their best, even if they are not perfect, they can also be worshipable,
Yes.
So now I don't understand that immediately after giving this nice class, which I agree completely. Now you say no. There is no any guru in ISKCON. No, I know all the gurus in ISKCON.
I say that? Why did I say this?
All of them.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Sorry, I just want to interject here quickly, and I just want to give the answer because I can't stand to hear this.
No.
Because it's not his class.
No. Sorry. Let us finish. I never said this. What gives you this idea?
This idea because you said there is no gurus in ISKCON that can inspire me. So I suppose that you know
Doesn't
all
mean I'm rejecting them.
the gurus.
That doesn't mean I'm rejecting them.
No,
You're not,
but it doesn't.
You're not.
I think
You're never obliged to accept a guru. Even the Shastra doesn't say that you must accept a specific guru.
Wow.
It says that you
Sure.
accept. Hare Krishna, can I speak? The Shastra says You must accept the Guru, yes, but it never said that you must accept this particular Guru, because the surrender is always a free choice. Krishna leaves us free choice. If the choice is not there, it is not a surrender. Surrender means voluntary. You give your freedom to the Guru. If the Guru is forced, there is no meaning to surrender to the Guru. But you cannot say that, oh, because you don't feel inspired, maybe I'll be inspired later. But you cannot say, oh, you don't feel inspired, that's why you're rejecting, that's why you're an offender. This is nonsense. Do you follow my point?
Yeah, I want also to.
Yes, but I didn't say neither that you are an offender.
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't say that. I just try to understand your point by saying that actually I cannot recognize any gurus or any devotees in ISKCON because I am not part of ISKCON.
Yeah.
But actually I'm trying to be part of Srila Prabhupada movement, even if ISKCON is very sick, I can recognize that. But I like also to compare the different point of view we have from different camps, because the cooperation is the most important for the time coming, you see. By example, to installing the farms community and for the survival of all the devotees. So at a certain point, maybe we will stop to quarreling from each other. Even, you know, even in ISKCON, sometimes I have some discussion with those devotees and say, how do you know that your guru is completely dedicated to the order of Srila Prabhupada? Is saying different things, is not preaching, is not educating the devotees, is just making the morning talk show. So I don't agree neither. But I'd like to have a real Siddhanta, just like I was trying to catch when you said that we should also respect the guru who is following Srila Prabhupada, because he's giving also at his level a certain understanding of the philosophy.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yes. It should always be the instruction should be the focus. Who gives that instruction? That's another thing, you know, but if the instruction is bona fide, we should accept it from anyone. Like Chenakya Pandit, he says that a learned man, he can accept
Gold from stool, wisdom from a and a good wife from an obscure family.
And he can also accept teaching from a fool. See, Chenakya Pandit says, very nice. So even if someone is a fool, but if he speaks some sense, then he's a guru. That is my point. So I think this is a very nice platform to build cooperation. Instead of arguing, are you Ritvik, ISKCON, this and that, let us deal with specific instructions and decide whether it makes sense or not. And then, yeah, I think all of us, we accept Prabhupada as authority. So that's a good start.
Yes, this I agree completely, because the war between the two camps are not meaningful, you know, and it is destroy the faith of devotees and cannot be really conducive to build something strong for the society.
Yes, I agree. Yes. Yes.
Radhananda, Prabhu, you can hear me?
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Because let's say I would say even I reject actually all gurus in ISKCON directly. I say so because if you said okay that some guru give initiation on behalf of Prabhupada, okay, but if you are in the end really when it is clear you are the disciple of Srila Prabhupada and he who gives you the formal initiation, he say in the end you are not my disciple. You are disciple of Srila Prabhupada. If you say like this, then I can accept him as Shiksha Guru. That's clear. But if he say, no, Prabhupada don't want a Ritvik system, then he can teach whatever he want, but I would reject him. Because actually he reject one part of Prabhupada's most important instruction. So then therefore Prabhupada says Shiksha Guru is only who repeat his own Diksha Guru. So if he don't even accept something of Prabhupada, then he is not Diksha and not Shiksha Guru. So therefore, such persons I would directly reject. So, but if he say, okay, Prabhupada wanted Ritvik system, and I initiate you on behalf of Prabhupada, and you are not my disciple, but Prabhupada, then it's okay, then I would not reject, because this is what Prabhupada wanted. So this was my point.
So now. we have
Yes,
two
Prabhu, yes, you're right. But the intimate relationship between two person, one is more elevated than other. For example, one brother of me told me one day a story with our common initiator guru. He approached him and he said, you know, Maharaj, I really don't have the same level of worshipping than for Srila Prabhupada than for you. I prefer Srila Prabhupada. And immediately the Guru said, and he was smiling and he said, oh, but this is very good because actually this is my aim, this is my goal, that you are worshipping Srila Prabhupada first, you know. So I don't think it's correct to consider all the devotees who are received an initiation in ISKCON, they are bewildered, because many of them, they know that they are actually following Srila Prabhupada, and they want, Janme Prabhu say, they want birth after birth be the servant of Srila Prabhupada. Even my wife, you know, my wife since 10 years, I told her, you know, I follow Srila Prabhupada, I will follow Srila Prabhupada. And now she wants to follow Srila Prabhupada, even if she has only 10 years in ISKCON. She wants to follow Srila Prabhupada. She will take initiation from a guru who is following Srila Prabhupada, but she wants Srila Prabhupada as her master life after life. Okay, finished.
I am sick and tired of discussing Ritvik and ISKCON. I don't care for it. I agree, Prabhu, that not all the devotees in ISKCON should be put in one bag, and they're all child abusers and so on, so on. This is a very sectarian vision of things. I don't agree with this. I think there might be many sincere devotees in ISKCON. We should avoid offending unnecessarily.
There was Nityananda who also wanted to make a comment.
Yes, okay. But one thing is, because I give the class, it seems like that all the devotees, not all the devotees, but some devotees, they want to make their own class for my class. This, I don't like it.
He's gonna get his own class, but.
So I would just say, if you have any questions, if you ask a question, but comments, unless it's a short comment, but not a class, please, you know, make another class. I will come in here, but let's remain, you know, I made some points that I think are important. If you don't agree with me, then you ask me questions on these different points and we can discuss. But if you want to use it as a springboard to give your own realizations, I consider that a little
She's about that says that the question should pertain to the subject matter, to not distract the mind.
yes, I mean, I like the discussion and so on, but provided that we're sticking to the topic, like, for example, Greg Prabhu asked a question pertaining to the class. So I don't mind, you know, I think you actually wanted to finish some of your points.
Yeah, I still have.
So please go.
I still have. Perhaps there was a little misunderstanding. Perhaps there's a misunderstanding on the question. When you gave the answer, when you gave the answer, it seemed like you were saying in your answer that that we should not disrespect Shiksha gurus. We should not disrespect them. And I asked you, should we consider these Shiksha gurus who are imperfect? Should we consider them ordinary men? And I don't believe you answered that part of the question, which is should they be considered ordinary men? And
I answered. Maybe I can clarify a little bit more.
okay, yes.
See, it might happen that some disciple of Srila Prabhupada becomes a pure devotee, Shiksha Guru, right? A Mahabhagavat. He's actually a Mahabhagavat, but he's a Shiksha Guru. He might be one of us. Should he be considered an ordinary? Should we worship him? What should we do? The point is that if Srila Prabhupada is the current ling, he should be worshipped under any circumstances. And that devotee will never demand it. Oh, he will never guide us to worship him, right? He will always guide us to worship Srila Prabhupada. But from our side, we should learn how to appreciate all the devotees. That is what Prabhupada is saying, that everyone should be treated as though he was a pure devotee. Not at all. I offend without any reason. Oh, he's bogus and he's from that camp, so he must be bogus. Oh, he's coming from a tourist place. Oh, they're Germans, they're bogus. This is simply Kanishta. Kanishta.
I was not saying to disrespect anybody. I was not saying, I did not even suggest disrespect. That's why I was wondering why you answered. Because I didn't say, should we not disrespect them? I said, should we consider them as ordinary men? And it was.
What do you mean by ordinary men?
Ordinary men. It was specifically because you had said that these people are imperfect. They're not like, they're representing Prabhupada, they're imperfect. So should we consider them as ordinary men if they're
Prabhupada says in the 4th canto, maybe you know this quote, he says that if the follower, he might not be liberated, the follower might not be liberated, but if he follows the instructions, he becomes free from the 4 defects. You know this purport?
I'm familiar with many similar ones also, where he said that they're, even though they may not be perfect, so long as they strictly follow, they're as good as pure, as good as perfect. But that is, as good as doesn't mean the same as is. So I ask again, should they be considered ordinary men?
Maybe someone can explain the question. I don't know.
Should they be considered ordinary men or something else?
But the devotee should never be considered to be ordinary.
Okay.
But not that we start worshipping some god brother and Guru Puja for him. Prabhupada is the Guru. You know? I'll give you an example. Jayananda Prabhu, we know because Prabhupada says he went back to God. So he was a pure devotee. But devotees were treating him nicely anyway. They were not disrespecting him or they were not worshipping him. He was just an ordinary devotee living in a temple, just like all of us. He was doing his service, and devotees were respecting him because of his qualities. So again, whether someone is a pure devotee or not pure devotee, guru or not guru, is not some kind of a formula that you can apply and then everything becomes easy. It's one by one, case by case. Case by case. You have to decide that every devotee, you have to consider the qualities, his understanding, and so on, so on. Not at all. These are from these camps, so they're bona fide, and these are from this camp, they're bogus. That is sectarian.
I actually agree. I shouldn't have asked it that way. I shouldn't have said ordinary men, because I heard Prabhupada once say that devotees are never ordinary. And I should have said again, should they be considered ordinary devotees?
What is ordinary devotee? What do you mean by that?
I mean like
should you trust them 100%?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, well, it's tricky. Again, it's tricky because Mathurapati is the president of this temple, and he said, now everybody go on Harinam. So Prabhupada says, temple president is my representative. You have to follow all his instructions, and you cannot find flaw. There's an example, some devotees, they pointed out that the temple president, he doesn't follow and this and that. Prabhupada says, no, you cannot do that. Because then the discipline is finished. You must respect whatever he says. If he's bogus, whatever, that can be rectified later. But at the immediate moment, you must accept whatever he says, because then there's no organization. You know, if everybody says, no, we're not going on high enough, we're going to do book distribution. Here, Advaita Prabhu says, no, we do prasadam distribution. Then Maitreya Prabhu says, no, we go to the hippie festival. And I say, no, we're going to stay here and discuss more Rikti than Shiksha Guru. Then
24 hours.
yeah, then they have no business, no preaching mission, no temple, no organization, nothing. So for practical purposes, Prabhupada made this structure: temple president, GBC, whatever, some authority, senior devotee, sannyasi, and they should be respected to the level, reasonably. In ISKCON, they have misused this. They have misused this hierarchy. They have misused this hierarchy, and that created a big havoc. But that doesn't mean that the hierarchy idea that Prabhupada gave is wrong by itself.
So within reason,
Within reason.
within reason, because if they were to if the temple president smokes weed, for example, it's fine as long as he doesn't tell you to do it, because then you'd be surrendering your intelligence.
Well, you should not do it anyway.
Yeah. But
yeah.
also, you should definitely not tell others to fall down with them.
Yes.
Like that. But if someone wants to do a certain service like Sankirtan or cooking, that's their business, and it's not harmful to anyone. So of course you should follow.
Yeah, I mean,
It's their house, their rules, so you follow, or you leave the house.
exactly.
Very
Of course, an intelligent temple president will consult. He will say, "Are you rested sufficiently? Did you take your prasadam?" That is intelligent temple president. The temple president is the greatest servant of the devotees. So he makes sure that everyone is comfortable, and because he doesn't want to burn out his men, so he takes care of them, and then the devotees, they respect him. It's a mutual, nice reciprocation. Like Srila Prabhupada, for example, also, he would take advice from his disciples. It doesn't mean that Srila Prabhupada is ignorant, but it's a relationship. It's a relationship. We cooperate together. Prabhupada would say, "What do you think, Satru Maharaj? What do you think, Madhavis Maharaj?" Like Prabhupada says that we're better than these communists. We go with the Hare Krishna army, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Do you accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of God? No. Bam! What do you think, Madhavis Maharaj? Madhavi says, "Yes, Prabhupada." So even Prabhupada is asking, what is your idea? So this is personalism. Okay, so
when I said ordinary, I meant regular, because in the May 28th consultation, Prabhupada said, you become regular guru, which means ordinary man, or ordinary guru.
No, that's not my understanding of the conversation.
Regular means ordinary, is it not?
Regular, to me, irregular means regular Diksha guru. But anyway, that's a different, we're going in a different direction.
Ordinary, if he was a Diksha guru.
No, we're going to the different topic now. Let's stop there.
This
will be off topic. We have to stay within the topic. We can't discuss everything at the same time.
I don't even think in that conversation. I think it's a Shiksha guru in that conversation, where he said regular.
This is a different topic. We can discuss this later. Let's finish one topic. Hopefully, let's study for some other topic. So there's some comments. Any questions?
Yes, you can go further. I think you are not finished.
No, I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah. I gave the question and answer. But there was Nityananda. He was trying to.
To get one question. Yeah, he says he's ready to ask a question now.
Yeah. Okay. Please. Yeah.
Nityananda Prabhu, you can now speak.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Sorry if I interrupted earlier. My apologies for that. It's just when the Prabhu was speaking and he was talking about the ISKCON devotees, I understand. I just wanted to make a comment there because from my understanding is that no one can become a spiritual master by self-appointment or voted in. That's not the qualification to become a spiritual master. One has to be authorized according to the qualifications. He has to become a bona fide spiritual master according to Guru Sadhana Shastra's the qualifications that's in the Shastra. There's 26 qualities of a Vaishnava as well. And one should also, by all means, take initiation from an Uttamarikari, who's a pure devotee. So I just want to make that comment to that Prabhu that was online. I'm not sure who he was. I just wanted to add that.
Right. Agreed. Any other question?
No, and then what Mathura Pati Prabhu says about the Diksha or about our Shiksha, I just want to let everybody know that just obviously.
You said you had a question in the chat. If you go back, you scroll up, you said, I have a question.
We don't discuss
Yes.
ISKCON. No ISKCON.
Yeah. We're not discussing ISKCON.
No, ISKCON. You said ISKCON.
Yeah, no. I was just talking about that previous Prabhu that was online.
If you want to discuss ISKCON, go to ISKCON. You discuss with them. I'm
not discussing ISKCON. I'm discussing our Sampradaya.
I have no authority to explain what is the problem with ISKCON.
Yeah, no, I'm not discussing anything about ISKCON. I'm speaking about that other Prabhu. I just made a comment about him. Now let's stop ISKCON.
Why the other Prabhu is discussing about ISKCON?
Yeah, I just want to make a comment. That's all.
Please.
So now
I explained to the Prabhu. I said we're not ISKCON. I said we're not discussing this. Now you coming again. You discussing ISKCON.
Okay, so I don't think you understand what I'm trying to say. I just want to make a comment here.
I understand very nicely. You're discussing about ISKCON.
Yes.
I don't want to discuss about ISKCON because I'm not a member of ISKCON.
So you're not a member of Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON?
Huh?
Are you not a member of Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON?
No.
Okay, that's all I wanted to answer.
I never stepped into an ISKCON temple in my life.
Okay. To Mathura, the I think Prabhu.
You have any
yeah, no, I just have one thing I want to say. Just one thing, this last thing I want to actually say is that I think that we should all.
You have any question?
Yeah, I want to say something, Prabhu. I want to make a comment.
No comment. I said
no comments.
I said no comment. You're not hearing. I said no.
Why is there no comments allowed? There's no comments or questions allowed. There's only questions allowed. Okay, I have a question. I have a question for you. I have a question. Actually, it is for that. It is for the organizers of this group. It's for the organizers of the group. Can there be a meeting like this? Yes. Yes, you included on this. You're also a participant. You're a participant on this as well. So I'm asking you a question.
You have a question about the class I gave.
Yes, it's a question about the class as well. It's a question about this class.
I'm not an organizer.
Okay, never mind. I can see that you've been difficult, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, I can see that you've been difficult, that you don't want to answer any questions. Yeah, speak.
We can finish my class. You can discuss some other things.
That's what I wanted to say. We should actually have a general discussion about this because of devotees that have misconceptions about everything, and then you're accusing everybody of taking your class.
So, thank you so much. I would like to finish this class. Thank you for your participation. And all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Nityananda, Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu, are you there?
Yes. Hare Krishna, I'm here.
Yeah, Haribol Prabhuji. Okay.
Haribol. Yes, I can talk to you. Okay, so what I wanted to say is, I think that we should actually have a meeting like this. We have a general discussion. If you want to have a discussion where all the Prabhupadanugas come together, because I think this is what it was supposed to be, if my thoughts are correct, is that we all were supposed to come together and discuss about Srila Prabhupada, about coming together, about organizing and working together. If that was my understanding when Balaram Prabhu reached out to me, that we're not going to have any arguments. We're going to discuss things in a civilized manner, and we're going to have comments, we're going to have questions, and we're going to come to, we're going to basically get to know each other. All of us have different points of views, and that's the whole point of coming together, is just understanding. So I wanted to find out, is it possible that we could all have a general meeting amongst all the Prabhupadanugas and also all of the participants, because this topic is basically a very important topic, the Diksha and the Shiksha. And from what I spoke about earlier is that the misconceptions that most of our devotees have, we have all of our own understandings. If we can all come together and have a consensus on this, on this exact topic, on Diksha and Shiksha in Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada's movement.
Yeah, we can maybe tomorrow or something with maybe we can organize some circle so that we talk one time a week or something like that. It would be possible.
Yeah, that's very important. I would think that's very important for us to actually do, because everyone has their own understanding, and if you can come to a consensus on the actual process, then this is important.
Yeah, no problem. Let's stay in contact so we can.
Sure.
Even I think Babu, he gave me also your WhatsApp number. I think.
Yes. So you can contact me there, and then we can all come together, and then we can discuss this, because from what I heard today in the class regarding Srila Prabhupada's Diksha and Shiksha, it's not exactly according to what Srila Prabhupada wanted, and it's also confusing. So to clarify that up with a consensus of all the Prabhupadanugas, the senior devotees, I think that would be the best. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for your time. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak.
Hare Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Bol. Okay, actually we can, because he's finished. Jana Priya Prabhu, you are here?
Yes.
Sorry, I was not knowing that you wanted also to say something. Okay, we are hearing. Are you here?
I'm here. Okay, there we go. The mic got unmuted. The mic was muted the whole time. Very interesting class. However, I don't agree with everything that Prabhu said in the class. Like you mentioned, we could not lump, just like we could not lump all the Ritviks together. We could not lump all the ISKCON devotees. But like I agree that we don't care about ISKCON because we're not in ISKCON. So we don't need to worry what they do or they don't do. And so basically, we just follow Srila Prabhupada. That's all we care. And if it's not on Prabhupada's books, we don't care. I personally don't care to know what it is. I have decided that whatever I need to know, Prabhupada has told me, and he keeps on telling me through his books and through his followers that are actually following Srila Prabhupada. Now, within the Ritvik movement, the problem is brewing that some of these instructing gurus, after a while of being instructing gurus, they start developing a very strong relationship with the people they initiated. And there's some cases where they're becoming almost like an ISKCON guru. They start accepting worship, and the devotees call them, the followers call them Guruji. So there's a problem there, I think. What do you think?
What I say, yeah, but the point is, if someone is nicely instructing someone, and actually he should see me like Shiksha Guru, because it's true. Ever now, Purujit Prabhu, he gave. The Prabhupada said even every child can be Guru, but in same time, Prabhupada saying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that you should be all Gurus, but we should maybe not meditate too much about this point, so that we can become puffed up maybe, or this is the risk later on even. But still, if someone is preaching what he is, some kind of guru. So you gave also so nice lecture on the Prabhupada Katha. So what it is, you inspired us with Krishna, Prabhupada Katha also. So very sweetly. So what you are, then it's also some guru for me. So and now Purujit Prabhu gave this point, and what he is, if he's preaching, he's some kind of guru. But we should not mix with the position of Prabhupada. So because it is said in Shastra that every Vaishnava who knows the signs of Krishna, he is actually guru. Okay, then we can, okay, Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyamadhika or something, okay. But if a Brahmana have no knowledge about Krishna, he should not be accepted as guru. But every Vaishnava is automatically a guru. So that's a fact. But we should maybe not meditate too much about it. I'm guru or something. That's the point. Otherwise, maybe after some time, I want to be worshipped, maybe or whatever. Then you can drink my feet water or the new bhaktas you see in the next video. Maybe my Vyasa Puja, I don't know what, everything can come. So that's
yeah. My point is that
I see you know this Veda Guya, I hear.
yes, I know him personally.
He was like full accepted, Ritik everything. And then one day, another, he accepted his own disciple.
Yes. My point is that the danger is there for the Prabhupadanuga instructing gurus that after a while they start acting like initiating gurus due to the way that the disciples, the people they initiate through the Ritik initiation become attached to them. And it's all right that they develop a relationship with them, but we have to keep in mind up front that no, Prabhupada is the only guru. We're simply nothing, you know? We're not even a glowworm.
If this Maya would become, then immediately this person can show you. You see, Prabhupada say, if long time someone is your Shiksha guru, it becomes automatically your Diksha guru. And we can find this, and then I become Diksha guru, I become my worship. So others can drink my feet water. I have some quote for this time, no problem.
And this idea that Purujit said that we need to respect everybody. I disagree with that because Prabhupada doesn't say that. Prabhupada says there's a sinister movement within the society, and these people are dressed like Vaishnavas. They're wearing tilak. They got neck beads, but they're actually Kali Chelas. They're serving Kali. So we need to have the intelligence to figure out who these people are. Now, the other people that might be neutral, they're also guilty. If they're not part of the solution, they're part of the problem. So anybody that is not speaking against these people that Prabhupada is saying that we need to expose them. Prabhupada says they need to be neglected. That means we don't care. And they should be exposed. So anybody within the society that is not doing that is guilty by association. Hare Krishna, that's all I have to say.
That's not exactly what Purujit said. Purujit said that if someone is contradicting Srila Prabhupada, we have to call that out. But so far, unnecessarily offending everyone and lumping everyone into the same category, that is wrong. Why should we unnecessarily offend people? But if they speak against what Srila Prabhupada says, that can be called out. So, please try to remember, quote correctly what Purujit says.
Yes,
I'm just repeating what Prabhupada said. It's not my own opinion.
You're not. You said what Purujit said. You quoted incorrectly what Purujit said. You're not just quoting Prabhupada. You just said Purujit said that.
I'm saying what he said. I'm saying what he said and what Prabhupada said. So you have to make your own choice, and you're gonna listen to who you're gonna listen to. Basically, that's it. You're gonna listen to Prabhupada only. And I said Prabhupada is the ultimate authority, that whatever he says, that's what I want to follow, or you're going to accept other opinions. That's your choice.
Jonas Priya Prabhu,
Yeah,
can I ask one question?
please.
So when it comes to preaching, because recently we were discussing that, you know, we not only preach to like karmis, sometimes people come also from the ISKCON temple, we meet them on the street during our Harinam, whatever. And when we immediately try to expose like these false acharyas publicly, they have this like condition that they neglect everything you say. So you automatically cannot preach to them if you like immediately start to expose like all what's going wrong within ISKCON. So the devotees here, they told us that they don't try to criticize the ISKCON gurus too much. They more focus on like yeah. How you would say that? We don't criticize.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying, Prabhu, and I agree 100% with you. It's just like we're followers of Prabhupada. So somebody comes and talks bad about Prabhupada, of course we're gonna get upset. So to them, their guru is their guru. So we have to be very tactful how we present this. And my whole idea is if I only quote what Prabhupada said, and if Prabhupada said that they need to be exposed.
So you
that's
think
what
we should
Prabhupada
rather,
saying.
you think we should rather also
We need to forget about preaching to ISKCON devotees, basically. To a point in their life where they're thinking.
Okay, thank you. Very good. Like really follow Prabhupada's instruction when it comes to like exposing these rascals, cheating gurus, or we should rather, you know, like secretly try to preach to the ISKCON devotees. And my question.
I don't preach Ripic philosophy to anybody in ISKCON unless they ask me. If somebody asks me, that means they're open to listening. And why waste our time? I give the example that in Germany, there was a very famous professor, music professor. Now, before he will take any students, he will require them to attend this very intense course where he did program everything they thought they knew about music. Then he will instruct them. So why waste our time with people that they're hypnotized. They're under hypnotic power and they believe they're doing the right thing, and that's all right. That's Prabhupada said one thing. Cheating disciples get what? Cheating gurus.
What makes you bona fide?
Okay, thank you so much for my question is now answered. I think we should end the class now because it's all very late here in Germany. And yes, I hope other devotees agree. Maybe they don't, but it will take like all the night discussing this point. So I think we should end the class now, and maybe another time we find time to discuss all these different topics. But for me, I'm satisfied. Okay.
Hari Bol, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Vansha Kalpa Truyascha. Vipassinyo Evacha. Patitanam Pavanenyo. Srila Prabhupada Namo Namaha.
Hari Bol.